Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Who
Can you
are your
please
most
answer?
talented people ideally, like you meant to say, like the our employees?
Yeah, employee.
Yeah.
That's why just I yeah.
Yeah. So, like, and what do you do with them ideally? If I have to talk about my organization that I'm associated with, we
Hmm.
hire physiotherapist.
Hmm.
So it definitely the the intention of hiring them, it doesn't come with a psychic that they only need to have the degree. They need to be
Hmm.
passionate about what they're doing.
Hmm.
Plus, our vision of the organization is we want to see a country like which is like not much focused towards uh, going for an what do you say, operation or something, because we believe that when you can like treat any patient through physiotherapy, let's not let them not go to any uh,
Surgery,
orthopedician or
critical
something,
surgery.
surgery,
Yeah.
yes, to
Yeah.
avoid critical surgeries. So
Okay.
that is the vision of our company that we have, and we want whichever employees associated with us has the similar vision. And
Right.
when you talk about India, India doesn't like respect the physiotherapy department as into the healthcare organization as compared
Hmm.
to any MBBS or any orthopedician or any other healthcare industry.
Okay.
Any health, any of the healthcare domain,
Hmm.
sort of.
Consider you recognize the talented employee within your organization. Then my next question that is already written there. What do you do with them? Okay, the talented employees are there within your organization, or you acquire that talent from outside, or you develop that talent within your organization. Then my next question arises that what do you do with them?
Um, what do we do with them? Ideally,
So,
we
like to manage the talent, you would provide them with necessary training and knowledge.
Hmm.
So that
Great.
would be a part of talent management, I think,
Hmm.
providing whatever is needed for their benefit, giving them a proper compensation structure. That's another thing.
Hmm.
So even retaining talent is another thing which would go in the career development planning if you want to retain the. That's again part of talent management, I guess.
Yes, career development and any more? Any more thing?
since you are the bridge, as an
Hmm.
HR, you are the bridge between the organization and the employee. So both
Hmm.
the goals, the
Hmm.
expectation needs to meet. Like it can't be just one part. So there are chances where the employee is giving 100%, but when it comes to results, it's not getting driven. So we need
Okay,
to,
so
yeah.
how you're measuring that result? Means, for example, if I'm your employee, okay, I said that I given my 100%, and you said that you're not met with that 100%. How you are measuring it? Because if you not measure my performance, okay, how you are going to develop me? That is my second question. Can you just tell me what are the way that you are measuring the performance, or with which factors you are measuring it?
So maybe the self-assessment test, even 360-degree analysis, then we'll
Yeah,
understand
yeah,
their point of view, what's our point, like what's the HR and the employer, like what they're falling
great.
short in order to
Hmm.
measure their
Gap
capabilities.
analysis. Gap
Right.
analysis. You just come,
Yes.
yeah. Hmm. Okay, so you're comparing with which factors then? Okay, you're
Their
bridging the. Yeah, yeah.
psychometric,
Huh?
I think psychometric tools is one.
No, that is
Then
the medium. That is the medium. But what you are measuring it with what are the benchmark
performance.
factors? Performance
Benchmark.
of that employee. You're linked with what? I'm asking you. You're
Uh,
linking the employee performance with what?
with the outcome.
Outcome. And outcome is linked to what?
Efficiency and something else, I don't know.
Yes. So basically outcome is linked with your organization vision and mission. Am I right? Whatever the outcome is there, that is linked with your organization vision and mission, and you are measuring the performance of your employees against your objective. What are the preset objectives are there, which is linked with finally the vision and mission of your organization. So basically that is the way. Okay, so who are you most talented people and what do you do with them? Basically a lot of talented people are there within the organization, but organization don't know that. Okay, so why they don't know that? And if they know, if they know that these are the numbers of talented employee that they have, then what they do with them, that is another question. Okay, that we are going to find the answer within this course, within this program of talent management. How you're acquiring the talent, if you once acquire or once you identify the talent within organization, then what do you do with them? That is the second question. Are you getting it? Within this question, all talent management, your complete subject are hidden, and this is the answer that you have to find it out at the end of your course. This is your course outcome. Yes, please acknowledge me because there are very less few students, so you can have one-to-one communication. Yes,
Yes,
please.
sir.
Great. Next. So before going to talent management, we have to define what is meant by talent. Can you just tell me what is the definition according to you? If I ask you what is talent, how will you define? You can just define in a layperson language also. It's not like that you have to give a specific definition of talent, but you can give the example, or you can in a easy way you can define it. What is talent?
It's a skill or something like, like, yeah, it's a skill, I could say.
You have to say the competencies.
Pardon me?
Competencies you have to say.
Yeah, competencies.
Okay. Anything more? Any other? What is
So
talent?
it would be
How will
the
you define?
skills and so it would be the skills and capabilities, the soft and
Okay.
the hard skills both, and necessary for performing the job. If it's matching, then that person has the talent, something like that.
It's like an
Great.
inborn gift, you could say, in a very layman's word. It's like
Yes.
talent here, sort of.
Yeah. So
Yes. So that
inborn
is
as
nothing
well
but
as
the capability. So capability might be inborn, or it might be acquired through training. If person is capable to do that specific work, whether that capability comes through by birth or by we can say through training,
Learning. Learning and
learning.
yeah.
Yeah, learning. So a lot of activities are responsible to get this talent. We say that this person is by birth talented. So what is that? That person's IQ is very good, so he are able to grab whatever the new concepts easily, but not only grabbing that concept. Okay, only it's not a one way, but it needs to be replicate, or it needs to be come into action, that talent. Then we can say that that person is talented. Okay, so great. All these three definitions, when we merge together, whatever you say is right, totally. Okay, so talent consists of those individuals who can make a difference to organization performance. Okay, not only the people, those who are working in the organization for a sake of salary, or for a sake of completing the task, but they must they must some difference in the organization performance. And that organization performance can be measured through a lot of various methods that we learn in HRM subjects, how we are going to merge measure the organization performance. And that organization performance should make difference with the previous performance, either through their immediate contribution or in the longer term by demonstrating the highest level of potential. So according to McKinsey, he's the creator of or he's the discoverer of this term, that is talent management. So what he said, according to McKinsey, talent is the sum of, as you said, it's a personal ability. Okay, his or her intrinsic gift, that is a natural by birth. Then skill, knowledge, and experience. All these three are acquired throughout your schooling education, or through your university's education, or through your experience when you work in the organization. And the intelligence, you can say it is a intrinsic gift, you can say, or it is acquired. Judgment, attitude, character, drives, or ability to learn and grow. All these are the acquired traits. So basically, McKinsey says that in a layperson language, that it is nothing but the ability to do a certain task. Okay, with the help of the skills, knowledge, and experience and intelligence that person gain through his through various methods. Okay, so that is nothing but the talent. So when we are defining a talent, particularly how the talent defined as talent consists of those individuals who can make a difference to organization performance, either through the immediate contribution, in the long term by demonstrating the highest levels of potential. And now, what is meant by talent management? You know the term talent. Now tell me, the what is talent management? Management term, you know.
So, like we said earlier, the
Hmm.
process of managing them, like giving them appropriate trainings to keep them
Hmm.
in the organization, retain
Hmm.
them with career
Hmm. Hmm.
progression.
Hmm. Great. So, if we say the talent is more specific related to that individual traits, when we talk about talent management, then the process come into picture. So, the process is nothing but some step of executions. There are some steps with the help of which you are developing the talent. Okay. So, what is talent management? Talent management is the systematic. Systematic is nothing but a sequence of attraction, that is talent acquisition, identification, development, engagement, retention, and deployment of those individuals who are particular value to the organization. The specifically every. So, what is the difference between recruitment and selection and talent acquisition then, or acquiring a talented people? What is the basic difference in between these two? Anybody? If we are recruiting and doing selection, okay, and we are acquiring the talent acquisition, what is the main difference?
So recruitment can be getting on board any individual, like not
Hmm.
necessary he's got the skill set. So you can
Okay.
give him a proper training and make him fit for the job. It can be even a fresher. When we say
Hmm.
talent acquisition, that time I think it's more related to someone who's qualified already for the job with the training perspective, for the skill
Who's
set perspective.
specialized? I would say who is
Yeah.
specialized into a particular domain or a skill.
So can we use recruitment and selection term for the fresher candidates, and can we use talent acquisition term for more experienced people?
Yes.
So
Huh?
at an executive level, recruitment comes as a very at a base stage, like wherein
Hmm.
when we call it talent acquisition, at a very
Hmm.
senior level, when you're talking like
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
it's a very big word, talent acquisition. It's not
Hmm. Yeah.
like any
Yeah.
generic term like recruitment. Recruitment is the base, but a very general term if you are hiring someone. But when
Yeah.
you talk
Yeah.
about talent acquisition, you are not just hiring, you're looking for the long term perspective benefit for the organization as well as for the employee. It's not only limited to one skill set, but there are multiple factors involved.
Yeah, just I want to talk on this topic, latter one. Okay, the upcoming slides inclusive and exclusive approach to the talent management. So in that, this concept will be discussed, that the talent management, talent acquisition, when we compared with the recruitment and selection. So you're right that recruitment is very, the generalized term, and the talent acquisition is a very specific term regards to a top level hiring or succession planning. Okay. Uh, Fine. So talent management is a systematic attraction, identification, development, engagement, retention, and deployment of those individuals who are particular value to an organization, either in a view of high potential for the future or because they are fulfilling business operation and critical roles. As you said, that at the top level, middle level, and the top level, the such type of peoples are required, those who can perform a specific role based task, or the, so role based hiring we can say, or task based hiring we can say, it comes under the talent acquisition, when we are just hiring for a person for doing specific task or the leadership role, then we can hire the talented people. Great. So I think that these terms are very easy to understand you in a very broad form, as we linked all these two terms with your experiential learning. Okay, so these are the basic introductions. So the term was coined by McKinsey and Company following in 1997. So it is a new concept from last 20 years. It is there in the management field. It is coined by the McKinsey and Company in 1997. The profession that supports talent management become increasingly formalized in early 2000. Talent management seeks, this is a particular definition, attract, identify, deploy, engage, retain, and deploy individuals. It should align. Okay, when it is mandatory that when you design any talent management strategy, that should be aligned with the business goal and the strategic objective of your organization. That is very important aspect. By managing talent strategically, organization can build a high performance. So what is the use of talent management? Okay, so the reason is that to build a high performance workplace, encourage learning organization, and value to their employee brand, and improve diversity management. Talent management defined as the methodically organized, that is nothing, a systematically organized strategic process of getting the right talent on board and helping them grow to their optimal capabilities, keeping organizational objective in mind. This last statement is very important, which covers all the aspects of talent management. So moving towards next slide. Talent equal to competence plus commitment plus contribution. We have already discussed this, because talent is nothing but it's a competence that already that candidate have, the commitment to deliver that or to apply that competence or that skill set to fulfilling the work or the task allocated to that candidate, and the contribution, that is nothing but the talent. Okay, this is the talent management triangle. I want to focus this triangle more and discuss with you this more. So can you just read the three the points of that three triangle? What is that? Please read that corners heading. Hire and pay, please.
Central planning and control.
Control and people
People
centered.
centered enablement.
Okay, so we'll start a journey from hire and pay. Okay, so just think that most of the organizations, I think they're not implementing talent management concept at when we are talking about the small size companies or the firms, or the most of the organizations which is having very small workforce. So they don't know what is talent management, how to implement that talent management process within the organization. So what they do, they only hire the candidate, recruit the candidate, or select that candidate, and they paid they are paying a salary to them. So what they think in their mind, that the potential candidate or the talented candidate come out by themselves. There is no need to apply any external what we can say, energy or the force or the process, we can say, or efforts to identify the talent and develop that talent. This is the mentality of some organization. So we are just discussing through this triangle the mentality or the concepts of the organization, how they are just looking towards this talent management concept. So one type of organization is that they are just hiring the candidate and they are paying it. They are just thinking that their philosophy is that the talented employees will come by themselves. There is no need to take efforts or apply some interventions, okay, to develop the talent and manage the talent. So the example is that as a cream come out, okay, automatically, in the same way the talented people, they come out, they emerge by themselves. So that is the hire and pay philosophy of some organization. So people develop naturally, doing nothing, the cream always comes on the top. That is the concept. Okay. The second approach of talent management in the organization perspective is that company is responsible for the development of the most talented people. It does not something with the people. So some companies think that the talent is not exist within the candidate before they join the organization. Okay, so they think that they need to they are responsible, they themselves responsible for development of the talented people as per the requirement, as per their fulfill the strategic objective of the organization. So that concept or that point of view is called as a central planning and control. They are just preparing a talent chain of people according to their processes, according to their need, and according to their strategic objective. This is a second point of view or second approach of talent management. Now, third approach, people center enablement. So most of the organizations, the most of the organizations within that the third approach, the third point of view of the organization is that people are responsible to their own development, but will be supported by the mean. So this is the blended form of approach. Some organizations, they are thinking that we have to acquire talent from outside, okay, and we have to develop that talent as per our requirement, as per our policy, as per our vision and mission. One of you said that Q Spine, they have some vision and mission that they don't want to go the patient for the surgery. Okay, they need to treat that patient through physiotherapy. That is their the mission statement, or we can say their objective of the organization. Okay, and according to that, they are just developing their talent. Those the physiotherapists, they join that organization. Okay, though they have that talent, okay, but they need to develop that talent as per the vision and mission or the objective of that organization. Okay, so that is nothing but the attitude change, we can say. The talent is there is nothing, the talent will not go in anywhere, but the only the thing is that the alignment of the talent in for fulfilling the organization objective. So the third approach says that people are responsible for their own development, but there is a need to support them by running some strategy, by helping them to grow in their career. Okay, by designing some career development strategy of that employee to retain that employee. Okay, so these are the three approach. Institutionalization means is nothing but the process strategy, the core formalized organization. The processes are there, various policies related to the departmentals are there. So that is the core part of institutionalization. So these three approach, hire and pay, central planning and control, and people center enablement. These three types of organization exist in business environment, we can say. Is there any doubt till now, or is there any question that you want to discuss with me?
If I have to talk about the TN triangle to help us with an example, That would really be great if we could just
Hmm.
correlate with the dotted
Can,
lines.
yeah, just I tried to explain in with that physiotherapy or the Q spine example. Can you just tell me with which example that you want to align this example? Means TM triangle. Means
Ideally,
just can you
like,
just tell me? Yeah, tell me.
yeah, when I'm saying this, if you're talking about the TM triangle, with one example, if I have to say higher in pay, central planning control, and people central enablement, the whole triangle.
Okay, listen.
Any
This
Means it can be with any
yeah,
of the company, like it can be a
any
school
of
or
the
college.
company.
Yeah, even in institution
Listen.
like college or
So
school.
okay. So this is nothing but these three triangle, three approaches. What are mentioned in the triangle? It's a concept that needs to be categorized as per the organization exists in this business environment. How they are looking towards talent management. So when we talk about hire and pay, these organizations are most the startups. They think that
Okay.
they are just thinking that people develop naturally as per the organization. They don't know they don't focus on the training and development, or they don't focus to career development plan. They only hire the candidate, talented candidate, and they think that they will develop as per naturally as per this hire and pay concept. When we talk about central planning and control, these are the more formalized organization, like the manufacturing sector, you can say, where the organization like Tata, you can say Tata Automobiles or Mahindra and Mahindra, they think that the company is responsible to develop the talented people. So what they do, they hire the people. Okay, they apply various strategy or interventions to develop their talent pool within the organization. And when we talk about people central enablement, this type of organization is called as a learning organization. Like you can say the Microsoft, or so you can say the
Infosys.
Apple, Infosys. So those were the learning organization. Learning culture is there within that organization. So those organization, what they think, the people are responsible for their own development, because most of the intrinsic talent is nothing but some intrinsic approach that should be developed by the people, but they required some guidance. They required some the strategy, or they required some the medium to grow their talent, and that talent should be grown as per the company policy, and that is implemented through various strategy, various policy regards to talent management. That is done by most of the learning organization that I given the example, like Microsoft is there, Infosys, you can say Tata. Okay, Tata have that good culture, that's why they are able to retain the talented employee within their organization. Attrition ratio is very less there. Okay, the reason is that uh, uh,
So
the
if
clear
you
the
have to give
concept
any
or
example,
more
yeah, the concept is clear. So if you have to give any
uh,
example, we can give it into like for example for Tata's Microsoft, then I'm like Apple and all. We can give an example over in central planning and control and people central enablement as well,
the
right? Consider,
can you repeat
I
because
said
your voice is
if
breaking. Hmm.
hello, I said if I have to give an example,
Hmm.
I can refer
Hmm.
Apple, Microsoft, then Tata's in
Hmm.
central planning and control and people centered enablement as well, right? Like Tata's, I know that
Uh,
they give a retention bonus. Like I'm just
yeah,
asking in
yeah,
terms
yeah,
of if I
both,
have
both.
to
You
give
can,
examples.
yeah. But the approaches are totally different. When we say about central planning and control, it is more in institutionalization. Okay. When you talk about people central enablement, it's totally a people centric. Okay. You don't merge these two approaches, because that's why the triangle is there. Na? There are three corners of approaches. So you can, when we say the company is when we talk about central planning and control, it says that company is responsible for the development of the most talented people. So there is no role of the individual employees to develop the talent. Mostly they are dependable on the company organization policy. Okay, when we talk about people centered enablement, there people role is very important. As equal to the organization role. Both are coming together for their own benefit, mutual benefit, and they are just helping each other to grow. When you talk about individual, then the career development plan comes into existence. When we talk about people centered enablement, so if you talk about Tata, Infosys, these organizations, they are more people centric. They are more focused on how they grow their talented employees, sorry, how they grow their employees through by applying some interventions or by applying some career development strategy. Okay, so growth chance for the employees more in such type of organizations. When we talk about central planning and control, here the employees are totally depend upon the organization. So organizations have that control to that employee. Here, how I train employee as per my requirement. So there is no any career development aspect in this approach, central planning and control, because it's a one way. People are developed, or that talent are developed according to the organization need and requirement. It's not to the individual employee development. But in people centered enablement, there are two approaches. Mutual development aspects are there. And in first hire and pay, there is no any concept of talent management. Only the people are joining the organization. They grow naturally as the experience grow. As I given the example of startups, most of the startups, the people join by themselves. They do what they want to do as per the allocated task. They have the full autonomy to work to work in that organization boundaries. And there is no boundaryless organization is nothing but the startups. There is no any boundary, there is no any policy. But when you move towards the more centralized, formalized organization, they are mostly process centric. They are mostly organization centric. Means they are just prioritizing organization first and then individual. But when we move towards down, that is people centered enablement, their organization thinking by considering the employee point of view also and the organization point of view also. Okay, so the example is like Microsoft, Apple. Why the people engagement is more in such type of organization? The reason is that they implemented such type of policy. They feel that the freedom of work, they feel that they are satisfied in that organization. So due to the policy and the strategy that organization implemented that. The best example recently that the COVID factor, the micros, I think the Facebook said that the upcoming 2 years there is no need to come to office to their employees. Why? They have the flexible policies. But when we take the similar example to the organization where you are working, the clear vision is not there. Na? The organization are not clearly said that upcoming 2 years don't come to office. Do work at your home. Your life is very precious. So that is nothing but employee centric point of view. Am I right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now you're getting clear things. How this pyramid is related to the talent management within
Yes, sir. It
three
looks
different.
like we are going to work from home at least for the entire year. It's going to be work from home.
But it is not clear, na? It is not clearly told by your organization.
No.
It is not told because they are not clear with their vision and mission. They are not clear with their strategies, policies. But when you talk about the learning organization like big MNCs like this, I'm not saying the big MNCs, might be some small startup also a learning organization, but for to become a learning organization, it requires some 10 to 20 years time span. Then only that culture will sown into that organization environment, and then only we can say that organization is learning organization. The culture is very culture is very strong within that organization. I think this is clear to you.
Yes,
You can
sir.
add
Yes, sir.
any point to the discussion. Okay, great. Can you introduce someone joined recently? Can you introduce yourself, please?
Sir Sunny from batch 16A.
Yeah, Sunny. Great. Yeah.
So I'm working for Thyroid Technologies and working in personal department as an HR generalist.
Okay. Can you tell me, all of you guys, can you relate this concept with your organization? In which approach your organization falls regards to talent management? One by one, please, fast. Sunny?
So my this one will come in hire and pay.
Great. Next.
So mine would be in central planning and control and people central enablement, both.
No, you have to choose one.
People are responsible for their own development but will be supported by me. It would be and company responsible for the development. It would be people centered enablement, so.
It's a hello.
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 Yes.
Uh,
I'm unable to hear your voice. Can you repeat it?
the
Uh,
answer is
yeah, so actually it's if I
Okay, there is any
Hello?
technical issue. Anybody else?
Yep.
Yeah, please tell me.
So mine will be hire
Speak,
and
speak,
pay.
speak. There is some hire and pay. Okay, next. Done? Done with all?
so mine would be central planning and control because like there are mostly ones and they're planning for their growth, and if not then we try to take a new talent. So yeah, that's what I feel.
Voice is not clear, guys. Is there any network issue from
Hello.
your
So you
side?
can turn your caption on.
My voice is clearly. Are you able to hear?
Hello.
Yes, sir, we are able to hear you.
Yes, sir, we are able to hear you.
I think
Hello.
there is no issue. Hello.
Yeah,
So you can
Sunny,
turn
we
your
can
caption
hear
on.
Yes. Sunny?
You can turn your caption on. Caption.
But that
Okay,
will
I will
consume
just check.
more internet if you turn caption on, and it will go more slow.
Okay, let it be. Now I'm able to hear your voice. Might be some due to the weather issue. There are some technical glitches coming in between the session. It's okay, but right now it's clear. My voice is coming clear.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we
Yes,
are
sir.
able to
Great,
hear
great.
you.
Okay, great. So now we are moving towards traditional talent management approach. Here we learn the three approaches, different concepts or point of view for the organization when they are looking towards talent management. Here there are the generalized model organizations. Okay, the talent. It's a traditional talent development approach. So if you see here, the first column is the planning. Planning is nothing but succession planning, need assessment, or workforce planning. Okay, so it is nothing but a totally a practical based process where the people, the managers, the HR people, they're sitting and they are just planning for the future requirement for requirement organ. Second one, the review, appraisal, and review. Okay, so they need they think
So your voice is
that
breaking.
to talent perform the existing. So just going to review, there are various methods we learn in performance management, how they are reviewing the performance of the employee. The one of the method is 360-degree. We have just discussed various methods in our HRM subject. Okay. Third one is talent review. Once we review the performance of the employee within the organization, then we go with the talent review. Okay, before that I want to just explain you what is the competence model, which is the center to this traditional talent development approach. What you know about this competence model, or what you think about this? Hello. How will you define this competence model?
So I didn't understand the model itself.
Okay.
I'm
Let
just
it be.
reading it and trying to understand.
Don't read that. I will go step by step. I'm just asking you the initial step. When we say that competence model, there is a need to build one competence model
So it will be
before
planning.
going for talent development. Yeah, it will be a planning, but can you just more specific? Have you
It can be
heard
assessed.
two terms? Okay, have you heard two terms? One is your job description and job specification.
Yes.
So
Yes,
what
sir.
is that? Can you tell me? Job description and job specification?
Job description will it will contain all the roles that one staff need to play.
Hmm?
Hello. It can be like
Yes, and next job
the description.
specification, what it means? Hello.
The
Anybody
specific
else?
skills or something.
Not something. Be very clear with your answer. Okay. If
No,
you
I'm not
so
clear
you can
about
say
it.
like competence model is nothing but the competence that as in the job description or job specification. What
So specification gives the insights. What is the mandatory
okay. So they
criteria?
what they do.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so specification is like the mandatory criteria. If I have to say, like education. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Hello.
Yeah, please proceed. Hello, I'm listening. Your voice is audible.
Is there? Yeah. So I said okay. So specification says sort of a mandatory criteria. The word itself says
Mm-hmm.
specification. For instance, like
Mm-hmm.
qualification for this particular
Mm-hmm.
role. What is the degree? Either it be a degree or else a skill, which is mandatory for this job to perform to be performed.
And what is job description?
Uh, job description. Job description. I would say it is a brief about what are the roles and responsibilities.
No, 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 no. It is you're right, but only one keyword that you use brief. It's not a brief. It's in detail.
Basically,
Job
essential.
description. Mm-hmm. The
Um,
description is nothing but the detailed requirement. What the organization required from that specific role. And job
responsibilities.
Yeah, job description is nothing but what the expectation are there from organization side from that role, and job specification is nothing but the competencies required, okay, to eligible for that role. So as you said, the education qualification or the experience, okay, require all these factors comes under job description, sorry, job specification, okay, which is linked with the job description. So when we talk about the competence model is nothing but the competence, the requirement of the organization to fulfill that particular job within that organization, whatever it may be. It might be at a top bottom level job, line manager job, middle level, or the top level management job. So for that, they need to design one model, and in that model they need to model is nothing but one structure, one hierarchical structure, or one flow chart where they need to mention. Okay, I will share some example related to competency model once you created that WhatsApp group with you, how the competence model look, or what is workforce planning. So you'll get a better idea after the sessions. Okay, so the competence model is nothing but a requirement from the organization side. Okay, so what are the job description and job specification, okay, are there for the various roles which is there within the organization. Okay, so these are the central aspect. Now by keeping in the competency model at center, you have to design the talent development, the flow. How the talent development flow start, like planning. Okay, so planning is nothing but for which talent development, for what purpose you are developing the talent, for succession planning. Okay, So need assessment, whatever the need, futuristic, it might be a futuristic or current need related to your organization requirement, and the workforce planning. If you have to develop your workforce for any assignment, then you have to plan accordingly. So these are the three plans, okay, which comes under planning, and that this planning, things are related to your competency model, because competency model is nothing but your requirement, basically what you require. For example, I will give you the real time, you can say, if you want to buy any laptop, firstly what you do, firstly you just write it down, what is your requirement, the specification required for you. Consider you are the organization, and your whatever the requirement that you're writing on paper, that specification required in that laptop that you're going to purchase, that is nothing but the competence model, okay, that you require. You're hiring or you are developing a talent within the organization. Okay, next, when you go for the hiring or purchasing that laptop, okay, so you have to do the need, the requirement, futuristic need. So you just keep some points in your mind in upcoming after 2 years or 5 years, what type of requirement that you require, or what type of specifications, technical specifications you required within your laptop. Okay, if you are completing your engineering, then after that some specific application software you require to designing things like CAD softwares are there, or your SAP softwares are there. So whether your laptop, whatever the laptop that you are purchasing now, whether that laptop will meet that requirement or not, the futuristic requirement or not. Apply this similar example to your organization. Okay, when any organization they acquire any talent, or select any employee within their workforce for a talent development program, so they think this specification or this requirement, futuristic requirement in their mind. Okay, and they design such type of competency model, okay, through which they are able to get a clarity whether they are implementing the plan in a very easy way or not. Means that plan, competency model, is linked with the talent development plan or not. That planning says about this. I think you're clear with this example. Okay, the futuristic need as per they are just planning. Am I right? Second approach is review. Okay, once you've designed a planning, what is your succession planning? How much leaders that you require? If you think that after 5 years you require 3 executives or 3 people to at a leadership role in your organization, so you have to plan accordingly. Okay, you have to just the review the performance of existing employee, how their performance, what are the competencies they have, and from competency model, okay, that you have to take some requirement for that executive role, what type of competencies are required, and according to that, what type of competency you have to build within your existing employee. Okay, because if I am a middle level manager, okay, an organization looking towards me as a top level manager, okay, role at the top level. Okay, so what they do, they firstly, please mute yourself. Okay, please mute yourself. The voice is coming. Okay, so if I'm a middle level manager, and if organization looking towards me as the top level, the role at the top level within the organization. So what they do, they do the succession planning. Okay, then they do the performance review, existing role performance review. Okay, and then do the talent review. Talent review is nothing but potential review and identification of potentials. And all these 3 things, all these 6 aspects are linked with the competency model. So as I said, what is there in competency model? Competency model is nothing but the requirement, the required specification of that organization, what they require in future. Okay, they are just predicting it. Okay, these are the competencies I required for the leadership role from for my employee. Okay, then I review that talent review, and I just find it out the gap gap analysis between the existing role, whatever the competence that I have from my existing role, and what I required if I get selected for that executive role. So what are the competencies gap are there? Then it should be planned accordingly, okay, in the development block. So before that, career planning is done. As I said, if I'm middle manager, I selected for talent development process, okay, or if I selected for talent development program, and organization looking towards me for a top level role, okay, what they do, firstly they review my performance, they review my talent, whatever this is that I, and according to that they plan my career for a, okay, and the planning is done through various methods, like feedback is there, interview methods are there, okay, 360-degree feedback mechanism, or the interview one-to-one interaction, through which they design one career plan to me, okay, and then they give that input to the development block. So if I say 10 to 20% development text in talent development approach, here actual talent development begins. So in development, what will happen? I will send to the executive development training, where I get a coaching, mentoring, formal training, and online assignments, okay, job role assignments, okay. That's the development 10 to 20. That is of job training. Off job training is nothing but the classroom trainings, as we learn in training and development in HRM. There are two types of training, on job and off job. So the two development blocks are there in this traditional talent development approach. What is that? One is development 10-20 and development 70. So why there is a gap in the huge gap in between these two blocks? Can you just tell me? Why one block said 70%, development 70%, and another block said development 10 to 20%? Can you just tell me, please? Put your views.
So because in 10 to 20 there is coaching and mentoring which is happening, and development, like the person has been implementing while in the process,
Yes,
and
hands-on
development 10 to
training.
20 is learning. Yeah, it's in the learning stage.
Great. So that is the main intention, that in initial phase the of job training is given through coaching, mentoring, and formal training assignments, and then employees sent to the on job training. Like if my manager say, Kiran, I just appointed you for an regional manager post, or one of the executive post, okay, as a trainee executive post, go there and learn for 1 year. So that is nothing but the development 70% is happening. Whatever I learn through coaching, whatever I learn through mentoring, whatever I learn through formal training, I am implementing it. Okay, and their actual development happens, 70% development happens. And this cycle rotates around the competency model. Competency model is nothing but the organizational requirement, okay, for that executive role. And how much time this rotation will happen? This cycle will run how many times? Can you just tell me? How many times this cycle will rotate?
So at each every growth level, hello. So at every growth
Yes, tell me.
level, this cycle will be running, na?
Yes. At
Hello.
every growth level, this
Cycle will be running. Yeah.
cycle is the organization till that, yeah, and it is a continuous process till organization think that this person is competent to that particular role or not. That competence model will decide, okay, whether this person are now competent to lead that role within that organization. If he is not able to grow that talent, what the role is required, then automatically he's just eliminated from the training and development program or that process. Okay, so these are the traditional talent development approach, in which planning is happen, review is happen, talent review is happen, then career development is happen, then development program gets start. That categorized into two way, that is off job and on job training. Yes. Is there any doubt in this model or this approach? This is a traditional approach.
No, sir.
Is there any question, guys?
No, sir.
No? Can I move forward? Great. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Relevance, relevance of various talent management measures. Okay. So when we talk about, the relevance of talent management factors, so it's similar to off job and on job training. If you see, there are 14 factors are there, which is categorized into four the head title, that is job assignment, coaching, feedback, mentoring, and training. If you see in graph, okay, that plot, the big circle is allocated to what? Job assignment.
So the image is
big-
actually blurred.
Blur. Can I
Yeah,
just
it's
increase the
blurred.
size?
Hence we can't read.
Now?
No, sir. It's still blur. Actually, that image itself is blur.
Okay.
Ideally, you will have
At
to
least are you
minimize
able
it.
to guess it?
Yeah, one is job assignment. Then another is coaching, feedback,
And
monitoring, and
coaching and
training.
feedback. Yeah, it's a mentoring and training. So
Okay.
I will help you to understand this graph. The big circle is related to job assignment. So as I say, job assignment is nothing but on-job training. So if you see, what are the factors are there in that job assignment? Promote high performance quickly, build skills to boost career prospect, fast rotation and advancement, role with P&L, profit and loss responsibility. Okay, that is accountability. Special project opportunities means whether you are getting a special assignments or tasks to accomplish within your organization. And the sixth one is on-job training. So all these factors have occupied the big circle within that organization, talent management measures. Okay, second one is coaching and feedback. Coaching and feedback gets a small circle, occupy the small circle. Why? Because the factors are responsible to it. That is told, my strength and weakness, 360 feedback, candidate insightful feedback, informal coaching from boss. Okay, so it's nothing but coaching and feedback. It's not a hands-on experience. It's a formalized training given to the employee. And the third one is mentoring. Great mentor, great senior role model, mentoring advice on development, and finally the training, traditional classroom learning. So here you'll get a clear picture. So what are the role of these factors in talent management? If you see, job assignment occupies 70% role. Okay, when we talk about talent management, okay, what are the factors which are responsible to develop a talent within your organization? So we can say job assignments are the major factors. Okay, what are the job assignments are there? Or in a layperson language, we can say the experience, hands-on training that you are getting in your organization. That is responsible for developing your talent. Second circle gives you the insight that coaching, feedback, and mentoring, that shares a 20%. And finally, the 10% is training. Okay, I am not against the training. Training is okay, but if you are not apply that concept, whatever you learn during training within your practical process, then there is no use of that training. So if you have to design or if you have to think what are the factors are responsible majorly in percentage way for talent management, that are the experience. Second one is form and with others, that is the coaching, feedback, and mentoring, and finally training. Training has a little part, that is the 10% part. So when you design any talent management strategy or policy, you have to think that how you can give a hands-on experience to your existing candidate or the employees, okay, to build their talent. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? You are clear about this diagram, or you have any question?
So I have one question.
Please,
What is
please.
written on the X and Y axis? How well? What is it written?
company, yeah, how well company provides that excellent good, and the below is importance to my development.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, in y-axis it's there how from the company side, how company are the, you see that pyramid, na, pyramid structure. So in that pyramid, one is there how company are putting efforts to develop you. That is on y-axis, and x-axis is importance to my development, whether it is relevant to my development or not. If you say job assignment is given by the company, they are providing. Okay, so and it is relevant to you also. So it is falls under 75%. Okay, and training, if whatever the training is provided by the organization and which is not importance to you, means for example from two approaches, na, whatever the training given by the organization, whether you are implementing it or not, or whether the organization are giving training to you as per your requirement or not. And so whatever the gap is there, gap analysis that is formed, what the company required and what that the skill set that you have, whether the training is given on that gap, then that is relevant to you, na. If it is not relevant to you, then how will you develop your talent? That is important one. So in the latest trend in training and development is that the generalized training is not given to every employee. Okay, they are just finally identifying, okay, the specific training needs required to each and every employee. Okay, that is the latest trend. Before that, the general training session happens, training program happens, and the allocation of every employee, all the employees are enrolled for the training program. So there is no any assessment is done. Okay, planning is done. Okay, one-to-one, the specific planning is done with the employee about their gap analysis. Okay, that is about this. Yeah, yes. Next. Have you get the clarity?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Any more question? Any more question?
No, sir.
Any more
No, sir,
question?
not
Can I move
tonight.
forward? Great.
Yes, sir,
Yes.
we can move ahead.
Okay. So next, the position of the talent management. If you see the pyramid, once again the pyramid, but now it's in a proper manner. So if you see in pyramid, the bottom is employee managing their jobs. Okay, don't see the internal that arrow mark. Only see now the categories, how the triangles are divided. Employees managing their job at bottom level. Second, that is a line or bottom level management. That is managers managing the. Third, managers managing the managers, and at top level, managers managing the organization. This is a traditional way. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Traditional approach.
Yes,
Okay,
sir. It's a
great.
traditional approach.
So this happens in every organization. So management layer differ completely with regards to context and duties. Many companies go for a high internal placement rate. Okay, I asked to many HR or the HR manager. Okay, how many headcounts or how many executives are there within organization? If they some of the managers are saying there are 5 executives are there. So how many are there from outside and how many are there from the inside? They said that the 3 are from the outside and 2 are there from the inside. So there is a mismatch. There is some lacunas in the talent and development policies within that organization.
So I didn't get
When
you
that
what
manager,
you. So I'm sorry to interrupt, but like I didn't
Yeah,
get you
please.
what you meant by inside the organization and outside executives.
I'm coming on that point. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm coming on that point. That's okay.
Yes, sir.
Once I complete this slide, then you can ask me the question if you are not clear. Okay. So basically, what happens when I said that whatever the executive requirement, if I'm having a 5 executive requirement, and if someone say me that 3 are from outside, as we hired executive the candidate from the outside, okay, and 2 are from the inside, that we taken those employees through talent management program or through succession planning. That is the difference. When you hired any executive from the outside through recruitment and selection process, that is a talent acquisition process. Okay, then we called it as we are hiring that executive from the outside. And when we say that the two executives are from the inside, and that executives come from one process, one development program, okay, that is there in that arrow. If you see internal development, okay, employees managing their job, then they move. That is nothing but the succession planning. You're getting the promotion, and by getting the promotion or through some competencies that you have grow build throughout your experience, and you reach to that position. So that is nothing but you are hired that executive from inside the organization. So the required two major steps: identification of the talent and long-term development. What this pyramid structure says, okay, your talent management policy are effective when we can say, when I say that out of 5 executives, all 5 are from inside. We are just hired the inside employee for our top level management, and they come through one process, that is nothing but talent development process. And the talent development process start from identification the talent at the bottom level, and then they grow step by step, okay. And that development program are focused to a long term approach. It is not like that if I am having a small company, or if I want to hire that is nothing but the succession planning. In succession planning, what you are doing, you are just identifying the talent at the bottom level which will lead your company after 10 years. Okay, so whatever the 10 years time that you are getting, you are developing that talent within your organization. So whatever the activities that you are doing for retaining that employee within organization for up to 10 years, okay, applying lot of interventions or giving career development plan to that particular employee, that is nothing but a talent management process. You are managing the workforce inside your organization for your futuristic requirement. So this pyramid structure says that the employee grows from bottom level to top level, okay, through one top talent management process. Yes. Now ask the question, please. Yes.
I got it, the internal and external
You got
executive.
you
I
got it,
understood
na?
that. Yeah,
Great,
thank you.
great.
Yes.
So, guys, today we'll stop here with introduction. The reason is that with your due permission, okay, just I come, the remaining part will covered in next slot, but I will come on video first. Wait. Yes. Are you able to see me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So with your due permission, I'm having one exam at 11 o'clock for one certification. Okay, that is the timing is 11 o'clock, 11 to 12, 1 hour exam is there. Okay.
Okay.
So I want to appear for that exam. So I take your permission. Can you permit me to close for today's
Yes,
session?
sir, no
Yes,
problem.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
all
Yes,
the
sir.
best, sir, for your exam.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The second question that I want to ask, what is the feedback? Whether you get clarity of concept today from this session, or and what? I want the feedback from your side.
Yes, sir. We've understood the concepts that you have taught us today.
Okay.
Yes,
Great.
sir. I
Great. All
think
of
because it's more interactive, we are able to get it better.
Yeah, great. So in upcoming sessions, I will share you session plan in upcoming, in this week only, and the proper how we are executing this subject sessions for this subject in upcoming days. I will let you know through that session plan. Okay, guys.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you. I will
sir.
share this PPT with you at the end of this day.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
not a
Yeah,
problem, sir.
Okay,
thank
sir.
you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
please.
We'll
Yeah,
make
please
the
create.
group.
Yeah, please
Yes,
create
sir.
the group WhatsApp group. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.